It was 2:13 in the morning when I saw the email that would change everything. I'd been sitting cross-legged on my bed for the past 2 hours, refreshing my student portal every 20 minutes like some kind of obsessive ritual. My spring semester schedule was supposed to lock in at midnight. Registration had been open for weeks. My classes were picked. My advisor had signed off. Everything was supposed to be fine. Except when I refreshed the page one more time, instead of the clean green banner that read "Registration confirmed," my screen lit up with red letters. "Registration hold, payment not received." My stomach dropped. I stared at the message, blinking hard, hoping it would disappear. It didn't. I clicked through to my payment plan, the one my mom, Trisha, had set up back in November, the one she swore was all handled, the one I'd reminded her about 3 separate times over winter break because I know how she is with deadlines. Status? Canceled. Amount due $6,200. My hands started shaking. I opened my email app and scrolled back through the last week of messages, past the Canvas assignment reminders and promotional spam from every store I'd ever shopped at, and there it was, buried under the subject line I must have skimmed right past. Subject: Payment Plan Cancellation Notice. Action required. Dear Delaney Brooks, your installment payment plan for spring 2026 tuition has been canceled due to non-payment. To avoid losing your course registration, the full balance of $6,200 must be remitted by January 10, 2026. Failure to meet this deadline may result in dropped courses and suspension of financial aid eligibility. I read it twice, then a third time. The room felt smaller suddenly, my chest tight, my brain scrambling to make sense of it. This had to be a mistake, a system glitch, something. I grabbed my phone and opened the family group chat. No new messages. I checked my text thread with my mom. Nothing. No warning, no heads up, not even a, "Hey, we need to talk about tuition." Just silence. Then, like some cruel joke, I made the mistake of opening Instagram. My mom's story was right at the top of my feed, her profile picture circled in that bright pink ring that meant she'd posted in the last few hours. I tapped it. The first slide was a selfie, my mom and my younger sister, Kinley, both grinning wide and matching oversized sunglasses, the kind influencers wear. The background was our living room, but they were dressed like they were already halfway to the beach. The caption, written in that loopy font my mom loves, read, "Girls trip loading, tropical island emoji. Countdown is on." I swiped. The second slide was a boomerang of a booking confirmation on my mom's phone. I couldn't make out all the details, but I caught enough. The Fontainebleau Miami Beach. Check-in date, January 12th. The third slide was a video, Kinley squealing into the camera, shaking a glossy black shopping bag with "Revolve" printed on the side in huge letters. "Mom, I cannot believe you got me this. This trip is going to be insane." My mom in the background laughing. "You deserve it, baby." I sat there staring at my phone. Then I looked back at my laptop. $6,200 due. Miami trip. I thought it was a clerical error until I opened Instagram and saw my mom's story. My brain was doing that thing where it tries to logic its way out of what you already know is true. Maybe the trip was cheap. Maybe they'd been saving for months. Maybe it was a gift from someone else. But deep down, I already knew. Before we go any further, where are you watching from? Drop your city or state in the comments. And if you've ever dealt with unfair family favoritism, hit that like button and subscribe, because I promise you, this story gets so much worse before it gets better. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there in the dark, laptop glowing, staring at that red banner on my screen and refreshing my mom's Instagram story over and over like I'd missed something the 10th time. I hadn't. The countdown was still there, the shopping bags, the smiles, and my tuition still canceled. By the time the sun came up, I made a decision. I was going to call my mom, and I was going to ask her one very simple question. What the hell is going on?
Let me tell you something about my family before this gets messy. I'm Delaney Brooks, 21 years old, senior year. I go to a state university about 3 hours from home, and I work part-time at the campus bookstore to cover what my scholarships don't. I don't party much, I don't ask for much, I budget down to the dollar, and I survive. My younger sister, Kinley, is 19. She's never had a job. Not because she's lazy, she's just never needed one. Kinley is what you'd call my mom's full-time project. Dance lessons, cheer uniforms, spa days, influencer-style birthday parties with balloon arches and custom cakes. If Kinley wants it, my mom finds a way to make it happen. Me? I learned pretty early that I wasn't the priority. It's not that my parents don't love me. They do. It's just that their love comes with conditions. Delaney's responsible. Delaney will figure it out. Delaney will understand. And I always did. My best friend, Marin, used to tell me, in some families, love is measured by who gets sacrificed. I thought she was being dramatic. Turns out, she was just being honest. At 7 a.m., after 0 hours of sleep and way too much coffee, I sat on the edge of my bed and called my mom. She answered on the second ring. "Good morning, sweetie." Her voice was bright, too bright, like she'd been expecting this call. "Mom," I said, my voice flat, "my tuition payment got canceled." There was a pause. Not a surprised pause, a prepared pause. "Oh, honey, I know. Don't panic, okay? We're going to handle it." "Handle it?" I repeated. "Mom, I just found out at 2 in the morning that I owe $6,000 in less than a week, or I lose my entire spring schedule. How is that handled?" "I know it's stressful," she said, her voice softer now, like she was talking to a child. "But things have been really tight this month. Your dad's truck needed work, and we had to cover some things for Kinley, and—" In the background, I heard it. Kinley's voice. High-pitched, carefree, completely oblivious. "Mom, what time is my nail appointment?" I froze. "Kinley's what?" I asked slowly. "Her nails," she said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. "She wants to get them done before the trip." "The trip?" "Yes, sweetie, the Miami trip. We talked about this." "No, Mom," I said, my jaw tight. "We did not talk about this." There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Then she sighed, not a guilty sigh, an annoyed sigh, like I was the one being unreasonable. "Delaney, your sister has been going through a really hard time lately. She needed something to look forward to. This trip is important for her. You're strong. You've always been strong. You'll figure this out." I felt something crack inside my chest. "So you canceled my tuition payment plan so Kinley could go to Miami?" "That is not what happened," Mom snapped. "We had to make a decision as a family." "I wasn't part of that decision." "Well, maybe if you came home more often, you'd understand what's going on here," she shot back. "Your sister deserves this trip, Delaney. You're in your last year of school. You have scholarships. Kinley doesn't have those opportunities. She deserves to feel special." I opened my mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I need that money, Mom. I can't register for classes without it." "We'll figure something out next week. I have to go. Kinley's waiting. Love you, sweetie." And she hung up. I sat there on my bed, phone still pressed to my ear, staring at nothing. Then I opened my laptop and pulled up an email I'd been forwarded about accident last week, a shared calendar notification from my mom's Google account. Subject: Kinley, Miami trip itinerary. Dates: January 12th to 16th, 2026. Hotel: the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach. Flight confirmation: AA4452, $847. 2 passengers, round trip. I opened my calculator app and started adding. Flights: $847. Hotel:
4 nights, mid-January at a luxury resort, conservatively $1,200. Kinley's new wardrobe, I'd seen the haul, at least $600. Nails, dinners, excursions, spending money. It wasn't exact, but it was close enough. $6,200. The exact amount of my tuition. I screenshotted everything. The itinerary, the flight confirmation, my tuition cancellation notice, every text message where my mom had promised, "Don't worry, we've got it covered." I created a folder on my phone and labeled it Receipts. Then I sent my mom one text, "Call me now." She didn't reply, but that was okay because I wasn't waiting for her to fix this anymore. I was going to fix it myself, and she was going to learn exactly what that cost.
For the next 12 hours, I didn't move from my apartment. I sat at my desk with my laptop open, a cold cup of coffee on one side and my phone on the other, staring at a blank spreadsheet I titled Options. Option 1, apply for an emergency student loan. Interest rate 9.5%. Approval time 3 to 5 business days. My deadline 6 days. Option 2, drop to part-time status to lower the bill. Consequence, lose my full-ride scholarship, delay graduation by a semester, mess up my financial aid package for next year. Option 3, call the financial aid office and beg for an extension. Realistic chance of success, maybe 20%, and even if they gave me one, it would only buy me 2 more weeks. The money problem wouldn't go away. Option 4, wait for my mom to work something out next week. I stared at option 4 for a long time. Then I deleted it. Because my mom wasn't going to fix this. She'd already made her choice, and it wasn't me. I leaned back in my chair and closed my eyes, trying to breathe through the tightness in my chest. My brain was spinning in circles, trying to find a way out that didn't exist. I felt trapped, stuck between losing my education and going into debt I couldn't afford. And then my phone buzzed. It was a notification from the family calendar app, the one my mom insists we all use so we can stay connected as a family. New event added. Pre-trip celebration dinner. Date, Friday, January 10th, 6 p.m. Location, Longhorn Steakhouse. Notes, let's celebrate Kinley before the big trip. Everyone must attend. I stared at the screen. She was throwing my sister a pre-trip celebration dinner, the same day my tuition was due. I read the notification 3 times, waiting for the anger to hit, but it didn't. Not yet. What I felt instead was something colder, sharper. Clarity. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't poor budgeting or bad timing or a miscommunication. This was a choice, and my mom didn't even think she needed to hide it. I opened my Photos app and started screenshotting everything I could find. The tuition hold notice, the payment plan cancellation email dated December 28th, the Miami trip itinerary sent to my inbox by mistake when my mom forwarded it to my dad, Kinley's Instagram stories, the hotel booking, the Revolve shopping haul, the girls' trip countdown, old text threads where my mom had promised me, "Don't stress about tuition, we've got it handled," the calendar invite for the celebration dinner. I created a new album on my phone and named it Receipts. Then I called the one person who wouldn't sugarcoat this. Marin answered on the first ring. "Please tell me you're okay," she said. "I'm not," I admitted, "but I will be." "What happened?" I told her everything. The hold, the cancellation, the Miami trip, the celebration dinner scheduled for the same day my tuition was due. Marin was quiet for a long moment. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm but deadly serious. "Delaney, this isn't just favoritism. This is financial abuse." I flinched at the word. "That's a little extreme." "Is it?" She cut me off.
Your mom canceled your tuition payment without telling you, used that money to fund a luxury vacation for your sister, and now she's gaslighting you into thinking you're overreacting. That's not normal. That's textbook scapegoat golden child dynamics. I didn't say anything, because she was right. So what do? I asked quietly. You have two choices. You blow up now and make a scene, or you stay calm, gather every receipt you can, and make sure she can't rewrite the story later. I looked down at my phone, at the album I'd just created. I'm already gathering receipts. Good. Because when you confront her, she's going to flip this. She's going to make you the bad guy. She's going to cry and play victim and tell everyone you're being dramatic. You need proof, hard proof, so when she tries to lie, you can show the truth. I took a shaky breath. Okay. And Delaney, yeah? Don't go to that dinner planning to convince her she's wrong. Go planning to see how far she'll go, because people like your mom, they don't stop until they're forced to. Real talk, am I overreacting, or is this straight up betrayal? Drop betrayal or overreacting in the comments, because I genuinely need to know I'm not losing my mind here. I hung up with Marin and sat in the silence of my apartment for a long time. Then I opened a new note on my phone and started writing down every financial favor I'd done for my family the past year. Every Venmo request, every "can you spot me for groceries" text that was never paid back. Every month I'd quietly covered Kinley's phone bill because my mom forgot. It added up faster than I expected. By the time I was done, the number was staring back at me. $1,800 I'd given my family without asking for anything in return. Because that's what you do, right? You help. You don't keep score. Except now, my mom had just proven that help only flows one direction in this family. I saved the list, added it to the receipts folder, and then I made a decision. I wasn't going to skip that dinner. I was going to show up, stay calm, and let my mom dig her own grave, because I wasn't the one who needed to explain myself anymore. She was.
My mom didn't call me back. Not that day, not the next day, not even when I sent a follow-up text that said, "We need to talk about tuition. This is serious." Radio silence. But she did post on Facebook a photo of her and Kinley at the mall, arms full of shopping bags, both of them grinning. The caption read, "Spoiling my girl before our big adventure. She deserves the world." 43 likes, 26 comments. "You're such an amazing mom. Kinley is so lucky. This is what it's all about, making memories." I stared at the post for a long time. Then I took a screenshot and added it to the folder. 2 days before the dinner, my mom finally texted me. "Don't forget, Friday, 6 p.m. Dad made reservations. Wear something nice. We're taking pictures. Can't wait to see you. Heart." No mention of tuition, no acknowledgement of my texts, just a dinner reminder like nothing was wrong. I typed back, "I'll be there." Then I opened my laptop and did something I should have done a long time ago. I made a spreadsheet. What I've covered for this family last 12 months. Total, $1,847. I stared at the number. $1,847. Money I'd handed over without question because I thought that's what family did. You help each other. You don't keep score. But my mom had been keeping score. She just wasn't counting my side. I saved the spreadsheet and added it to the receipts folder. Friday came. I showed up to Longhorn Steakhouse at exactly 6 p.m., wearing jeans and a plain sweater. Nothing fancy. My mom gave me a look when I walked in. Her smile tight, her eyes scanning my outfit like I'd broken some unspoken dress code, but she didn't say anything. My dad, Wade, stood up and hugged me. "Hey, Del, good to see you." "You too, Dad." Kinley was already at the table, scrolling through her phone. She glanced up, gave me a half wave, and went right back to her screen. "Hey." My mom clapped her hands together.
Okay, everyone's here. Let's get some pictures before we sit down. She spent the next 20 minutes posing us in different configurations. Her and Kinley, the whole family, just the girls, Kinley alone with a balloon bouquet she'd brought from home that said Bon Voyage in cursive lettering. I stood there, smiled when I was supposed to, said nothing. Finally, we sat down. Can do the spa day on day 3. What do you think? Kinley's eyes lit up. Oh my God, yes. And we have to go to that rooftop pool. It's literally all over Instagram. The one with the VIP cabanas? Asked my mom. Yeah, I already looked it up. It's like $200 for the day, but it's so worth it. My mom waved her hand. Don't worry about it, baby. You deserve this. I took a sip of water and said nothing. We also need to hit that boutique in South Beach, Kinley continued. The one that has the dresses. I need at least 2 new outfits for dinner. Already on the list, my mom beamed. My dad had glanced at me. I could see it in his face. He knew this was bad, but he didn't say anything. He never does. I set my water glass down. How much did the hotel cost? I asked. The table went quiet. Kinley blinked. What? The hotel, I repeated calmly. How much was it? My mom's smile faltered. Delaney. I'm just curious, I said steadily, since we're celebrating. Kinley shrugged. I don't know, like a few hundred a night? 4 nights, I said, so roughly $1,200 just for the room, plus the flights, which were, what, $800? And the cabana, the outfits, the dinner cruise, the spa day. My mom's face flushed. Delaney, this is not the time. I'm not trying to ruin dinner, I said, keeping my tone even. I'm just trying to understand how we couldn't afford my $6,000 tuition payment, but we could afford a luxury vacation. That is not the same thing, my mom snapped. You're right, I said. One is my education, the other is a trip to Miami. My dad shifted uncomfortably. Del, come on. Dad, I'm not being dramatic, I said. I'm asking a legitimate question. Mom canceled my payment plan without telling me. I found out at 2 a.m, and now I'm 6 days away from losing my spring registration. Kinley looked down at her phone. My mom leaned forward, her voice low and sharp. We had to make a choice, Delaney. Your sister needed this. And I didn't need tuition? You have scholarships. You have options. Kinley doesn't have those opportunities. She deserves to feel special for once. I nodded slowly. Got it. Then I pulled out my phone, opened my photos, and slid it across the table. Then explain this. On the screen was the side-by-side comparison I'd made. Left, my tuition cancellation notice, dated December 28th. Right, Kinley's flight confirmation, dated December 29th. Same week, same account. My mom stared at the phone. Her face went pale. Where did you... You forwarded it to me by accident. Family calendar, remember? She didn't say anything. I leaned back in my chair and looked at each of them. My mom, my dad, Kinley. I'm not asking you to choose me over her. I'm asking you to explain why my education was optional, but her vacation was mandatory. No one answered. The waiter arrived with our food, and the rest of dinner was silent. But I didn't need them to answer anymore, because I already knew.
I didn't hear from my mom for 3 days after that dinner. No calls, no texts, not even a passive-aggressive comment in the family group chat. At first, I thought maybe she was sitting with what I'd said. Maybe she was reflecting. Maybe she was figuring out how to apologize, how to fix this, how to make it right. I should have known better. On Tuesday morning, my phone started buzzing. The first text came from my Aunt Linda, my mom's older sister. Hey, sweetie, your mom told me what's going on with school. I know you're stressed, but try not to take it out on Kinley. She's really excited for this trip, and it would be a shame to ruin it for her. Family first, right? I stared at the message. Take it out on Kinley? Before I could even process that, another text came through, this time from my cousin Jenna. Yo, is it true you tried to cancel Kinley's vacation? That's kinda messed up. Your mom's just trying to do something nice for her. Then my grandma. Delaney, honey, I heard you and your mother had words. I know school is stressful, but your mother is doing her best. Family should support each other, not tear each other down. Please call me. I sat on my bed, phone in hand, reading message after message, and it hit me like a freight train. She was spinning the story. My mom wasn't reflecting. She wasn't apologizing. She was rewriting the narrative. I opened Facebook and scrolled to her page. She hadn't tagged me, but she'd posted something 2 hours earlier. Sometimes the hardest part of being a mom is watching your kids struggle and knowing they won't always understand the sacrifices you make for them. Praying for peace, patience, and perspective today. The post had 43 likes, 22 comments. You're such a strong mama, Trisha. Don't let anyone dim your light. You're doing amazing. Some people just don't appreciate what they have. Praying for you. Kids can be so ungrateful sometimes. I read every single comment, and then I took a screenshot and added it to the receipts folder. My hands were shaking, not from anger, not yet, from disbelief. She'd turned me into the villain. I called Marin. She's making me the bad guy, I said, my voice tight. Of course she is, Marin replied, her tone calm but firm. That's what narcissists do. They can't handle being wrong, so they rewrite the story until they're the victim and you're the villain. But she's lying. She's telling people I tried to cancel Kinley's vacation, that I'm being ungrateful, that I'm the problem. I know, and the people who believe her without asking your side, they were never on your side to begin with. So what do I do? Nothing, Marin said firmly. You do nothing. Don't defend yourself, don't explain, don't engage. Let her dig the hole deeper. Because eventually she's going to say something she can't take back, and when she does, you'll have all the proof you need. I wanted to argue. I wanted to post my own side of the story. I wanted to screenshot the tuition hold and the Miami bookings and shove the truth in everyone's face. But Marin was right. The more I stayed silent, the more my mom would talk. And the more she talked, the more she'd expose herself. So I didn't respond to the texts, I didn't comment on the post, I didn't defend myself. I just kept adding to the receipts folder. On Thursday, 2 days before Kinley's trip, my mom sent a message to the family group chat. Family meeting tomorrow, 4 p.m. at the house. Everyone needs to be there. We need to clear the air. No question, no, is everyone available? Just an order. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, I'll be there. Because I knew exactly what this was. This wasn't a family meeting. This was an ambush. And I was ready. Friday at 4 p.m., I pulled into my parents' driveway. My mom was waiting on the front porch, arms crossed, her face set in that expression I knew too well, half concern, half control. Kinley's upstairs packing, she said as I walked up. Your dad's in the living room. Let's make this quick. I followed her inside. My dad, Wade, was sitting on the couch, looking uncomfortable. He gave me a small nod, but didn't say anything. Kinley was nowhere to be seen, which was probably intentional. My mom gestured to the armchair across from her. Sit. I sat. She folded her hands in her lap and took a breath like she was about to deliver a rehearsed speech. Okay, she said, we need to talk about what happened at dinner. I said nothing. Delaney, I understand that you're upset about the tuition situation. I do, but the way you handled it, confronting me in public, embarrassing your sister, making a scene, that was unacceptable. I raised an eyebrow. I asked a question. You accused me, she snapped. You made it sound like I stole from you, like I don't care about your education, like I'm some terrible mother who plays favorites, and that's not fair. Is it not true? I asked calmly. Her face flushed. Excuse me?
You canceled my tuition payment without telling me. You used that money, or money that could have gone to tuition, to fund a luxury vacation for Kinley, and now you're upset because I pointed it out. That is not what happened, my mom said, her voice rising. We had to make hard choices, Delaney. Your sister has been struggling. She needed something to look forward to. This trip is good for her mental health. And what about my education? I asked. Was that optional? You have scholarships, Delaney. You have options. Kinley doesn't have those opportunities. She deserves to feel special, and if you can't be supportive, then maybe you need to take a step back and think about what family actually means. I stared at her. She stared back, and then I did something I'd never done before. I smiled. Not a happy smile, a tired, done with this smile. Okay, I said. My mom blinked. Okay? Yeah, I said, standing up. You're right. I need to think about what family means. I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. Delaney, wait, my mom started, but I didn't turn around, because I wasn't there to convince her anymore. I was there to see how far she'd go, and now I knew. Honest question, would you confront your family immediately or gather receipts and stay quiet first? Drop your answer, because this is the decision that changed everything.
I made it halfway to my car before my dad caught up with me. Del, wait. I stopped, but didn't turn around. Just give her a minute, he said quietly. She's stressed. The trip, the money, everything. It's a lot. I turned to face him. Dad, she canceled my tuition without telling me. He looked down. I know. And you didn't say anything. I didn't know she'd done it until after, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. By the time I found out, the money was already spent. On a vacation. He didn't answer. I shook my head. You could have told me. You could have warned me. But you didn't. You just let me find out at 2 a.m. when I got a hold notice. I'm sorry, he said, and I believed him. But it didn't change anything. I have to go, I said. He nodded. Are you going to be okay? I didn't answer, because I didn't know. That night, I sat in my apartment and stared at my laptop screen. The tuition deadline was Monday, 3 days away. I'd spent the last week researching every option I could think of. Emergency student loans, high interest but possible, payment plans directly through the school, required a cosigner, my dad wouldn't go against my mom, picking up extra shifts at work, not enough time, dropping to part-time status, would destroy my scholarship. Every option led to the same place: debt, delay, or damage, and my mom still hadn't offered to fix it. For the first time since this whole thing started, I broke. I called Marin, and the second she answered, the tears came. I can't do this, I said, my voice cracking. I've tried everything. I don't have the money. I don't have time. I'm going to lose my classes. I'm going to lose my scholarship. I'm going to lose everything. No, you're not, Marin said, her voice steady and firm. Listen to me. You are not losing anything. We're going to figure this out. How? I said, wiping my eyes. I've looked at every option. There's nothing left. What about a private student loan? One of those fast approval ones? I tried. They all need a cosigner. What about a personal loan? Same thing. Then what about one of those emergency education funds or a campus hardship grant? I applied, but they said they'd get back to me in 2 weeks. I have 3 days. Marin was quiet for a moment. Okay, then here's what you're going to do. You're going to take out that high-interest emergency loan, pay the tuition, and save yourself, because your mom is not going to fix this. I can't afford... You can't afford not to, Marin said. Delaney, if you lose this semester, you lose your scholarship. If you lose your scholarship, you're stuck. This loan sucks, but it keeps you moving forward. You can figure out the payments later.
I closed my eyes. She was right. Okay, I said quietly. And one more thing, Marin said. When this is over, you need to cut them off. Cut them off, I said. Financially, she said. No more covering expenses, no more family phone bills, no more loaning money you'll never see again. They've been using you, Delaney, and if you don't stop them, they'll keep taking until there's nothing left. I thought about the spreadsheet I'd made, the $1,847 I'd given without asking for anything back. You're right, I said. I know I am, Marin said. Now go apply for that loan, and then start planning your boundaries. I hung up and opened my banking app. I found an emergency education loan with a 10.2% interest rate and a 5-year repayment plan. I filled out the application, and 40 minutes later, I got the approval email. I paid the $6,200 in full. Then I sat there in the dark, staring at my account balance, feeling absolutely hollow. I'd saved myself, but it cost me everything. The next morning, my phone buzzed. It was a text from my mom. She was at the airport. Kinley and I made it. Hotel is gorgeous. The view is insane. Hope you're feeling better. Love you. I stared at the message. Hope you're feeling better. Like I'd had a cold. Like this was something I just needed to get over. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened a new note on my phone and started typing. New boundaries. Non-negotiable. I will no longer cover family expenses without a written agreement. I will no longer loan money without a signed repayment plan. I will not be guilted into prioritizing someone else's wants over my needs. If these boundaries are violated, I will limit contact. I saved the note. And then I sent a final text to my parents. I took out a loan and paid my tuition. I'm handling it. But moving forward, I will not be financially responsible for this family. If you need help, ask. If I can give it, I will. But I will not be taken from without consent. These boundaries are not up for discussion. I hit send, then I muted the family group chat. Within an hour, my phone started blowing up. My mom called twice. My dad texted. My Aunt Linda sent a long message about hurting your mother. I ignored all of it, because I was done explaining myself. I was done waiting for them to see me. I was done being the sacrifice. And for the first time in my life, I felt something I hadn't in years. Control. Real question. Was I justified in setting these boundaries, or am I going too far? Yes or no, explain in the comments.
My mom came back from Miami on a Thursday afternoon. She didn't call when she landed, didn't text to see how I was doing, didn't acknowledge my boundary message at all. Instead, she posted a carousel of photos, her and Kinley on the beach, cocktails by the pool, sunset selfies on a hotel balcony, matching outfits at dinner. The caption read, "Sometimes you just need to invest in joy. Grateful for quality time with my girl and memories we'll never forget. Coming home recharged and ready." Invest in joy. I stared at those 3 words for a long time. Then I checked my bank account. The loan payment schedule stared back at me. $142 per month for the next 5 years. Over $2,500 in interest alone. That was the cost of my mom's investment in joy. I took a screenshot of the payment schedule and added it to the receipts folder. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I blocked her on Instagram. On Saturday morning, I got a text in the family group chat. Trisha, family dinner tomorrow at 5. Dad's grilling burgers. Everyone better show up. We have so much to tell you about the trip. Burger heart. No, how are you? No, we should talk. Just an order. I didn't respond. An hour later, my phone rang. It was my mom. I let it ring. She called again. I ignored it. Then she texted, "Delaney, I saw your message. I think we need to talk in person. This is getting out of hand. Come over before dinner tomorrow. Just you and me, 5 p.m. I stared at the message.
Part of me wanted to ignore it, to stay away, to let the silence do the talking. But another part of me, the part that had been collecting receipts for 2 weeks, knew this was the moment. This was the confrontation I'd been building toward. So I typed back, "I'll be there, but just you and me. No dad, no Kinley, just us." She replied immediately, "Fine, 5 p.m. Sunday at 5:55 p.m., I pulled into my parents' driveway. My mom was waiting on the porch, arms folded, her face a mix of frustration and something else I couldn't quite read. Worry, maybe. Or fear. "Kinley's upstairs," she said as I walked up. "Your dad went to get groceries. It's just us." "Good," I said. We went inside and sat at the kitchen table. The same table where I'd eaten 1,000 family dinners growing up. The same table where I'd done homework, celebrated birthdays, signed graduation cards. Now it felt like a courtroom. My mom folded her hands in front of her, already defensive. "Okay, so I read your text, and I have to say, Delaney, I think you're overreacting." I didn't say anything. "I understand you're upset about the tuition situation," she continued, her tone measured, like she'd rehearsed this. "But setting boundaries and cutting your family off financially, that's extreme. We've always helped each other. That's what families do." "Have we?" I asked. She blinked. "What? Have we always helped each other?" I repeated. "Or have I always helped you?" Her jaw tightened. "That's not fair." "Isn't it?" I pulled out my phone and opened the receipts folder. "I want to show you something." I slid the phone across the table. On the screen was the spreadsheet I'd made. What I've covered for this family last 12 months. Total, $1,847. My mom stared at it. Her eyes scanned the list. Every Venmo request, every emergency, every time she'd said she'd pay me back and never did. "This is everything I've given you over the past year," I said calmly. $1,847. And I never asked you for any of it back, because I thought that's what family did. "Delaney, those were small things," she said. "Small things add up. And the one time I needed help, the one time I asked you to follow through on a tuition payment you set up, you canceled it without telling me. We had to make a choice. You made a choice," I said, my voice steady. "You chose Kinley." She opened her mouth to argue, but I wasn't done. I swiped to the next screenshot, the tuition hold notice. Then the payment plan cancellation email dated December 28th. Then Kinley's flight confirmation dated December 29th. Side by side. You canceled my tuition on a Monday and booked Kinley's trip on a Tuesday. My mom's face went pale. "I didn't." "Yes, you did," I said, cutting her off, "and I have the receipts." I swiped again, this time to the bank transfer I'd found buried in the shared account statement my dad accidentally forwarded me last week. Transaction date, December 28th, 2025. Amount, $6,200. From Trisha Brooks to Kinley Brooks. Memo, Miami trip, plus spending money. I placed the phone on the table between us. My mom stared at it like it was a bomb. "This is the exact amount of my tuition," I said quietly. "You didn't cancel the payment plan because you couldn't afford it. You canceled it because you'd already decided to spend that money on Kinley." She didn't say anything. "So I'm going to ask you one more time, and I want you to answer me honestly." I looked her directly in the eyes. "I'm not asking you to choose me over Kinley. I'm asking you to explain why my education was optional, but her vacation was mandatory." Silence. My mom's hands were shaking. Her face was red. Her eyes darted between me and the phone like she was looking for an escape route. And then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she said it. "No. No. No way." Not an answer, not a denial, just shock that I'd found the proof. I picked up my phone and leaned back in my chair. I took out a loan, 10% interest, 5-year repayment. I paid my tuition myself, so you don't need to worry about me anymore. Delaney, but here's what's going to change, I continued. I'm not covering family expenses anymore. No more phone bills, no more grocery runs, no more can you spot me texts. If you need help, you ask, and if I can give it, I will. But I will not be taken from without my consent ever again. You're cutting us off? She whispered, her voice breaking. No, I'm protecting myself. I stood up. My mom grabbed my wrist. Delaney, please, you are my daughter. You can't just... I pulled my hand back gently but firmly. I already did, and I walked out. Behind me, I heard her voice, small and desperate. Delaney, wait! But I didn't turn around, because I wasn't waiting anymore. Was I justified in confronting her like this? Yes or no? Drop your answer and explain, because this is where everything changes.
I didn't go back for the family dinner. I drove straight to Marin's apartment, walked inside, and collapsed on her couch. "How do you feel?" she asked, sitting down next to me. "Lighter," I said, "and terrified." "Good," she said. "That means it was real." My phone started buzzing almost immediately. "Dad, Del, your mom is really upset. Can we please talk about this?" "Kinley, why are you being so dramatic?" "Trisha, I can't believe you would embarrass me like this, after everything I've done for you." I turned my phone face down and didn't respond. "What now?" I asked Marin. "Now," she said, "now you hold the line." Over the next week, the texts kept coming. My mom cycled through every stage of manipulation I'd ever read about. Guilt, "You're tearing this family apart." Anger, "You're selfish and ungrateful. I gave you everything." Bargaining, "Can we please just talk? I'm willing to compromise." Victim playing, "I don't know what I did to make you hate me so much." I didn't respond to any of it. Instead, I did something I should have done years ago. I changed my bank account passwords. I removed my mom as an authorized user on my accounts. I canceled the family phone plan and switched to my own. I stopped auto-paying the Netflix subscription they all used. And I sent one final message to my parents. "I love you both, but I will not be financially responsible for this family anymore. If you need help, ask me directly. If I can give it, I will. But the days of me silently covering expenses and never being repaid are over. These boundaries are non-negotiable." Then I muted the group chat. The fallout was immediate. Within 3 days, my mom called me, not angry this time, but panicked. "Delaney, the phone bill didn't go through and Netflix got canceled, and your dad needed gas money and I thought you'd automatically send it like you usually do." "I'm not covering those anymore," I said calmly. "But we've always..." "No, Mom," I said, cutting her off. "I've always covered them. You've always expected me to." She was quiet. "I didn't realize how much you were doing," she said, her voice small. "I know, and that's the problem." 2 weeks later, my mom texted me again. "Can we meet for coffee? Just to talk. No drama, I promise." I thought about it for a long time. Part of me wanted to say no, to stay away, to let the distance do the work, but another part of me, the part that still wanted a mom, not an adversary, said yes. We met at a Starbucks halfway between my apartment and their house. She looked tired, older somehow. "I'm sorry," she said before I even sat down. I didn't say anything. "I didn't realize," she continued, her voice shaking, "I didn't realize how much I was asking of you, or how little I was giving back. I thought you were okay. You never complained, you never said you were struggling, so I assumed you didn't need help." "I shouldn't have to beg to be seen," I said quietly. She nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "You're right." We sat in silence for a long moment. "Can we fix this?" she asked. "I don't know," I said honestly, "but if we do, it has to be different." "How?" she asked.
You have to respect my boundaries, I said. You have to stop expecting me to sacrifice myself for Kinley, and you have to stop rewriting the story when you don't like the truth. She looked down at her coffee. I'll try, she said. That's all I'm asking, I said. It's been 2 months since that conversation. Things aren't perfect. My mom still slips sometimes, still asks for favors without thinking, still tries to guilt me into family events I don't want to attend, but now, when she does, I say no, and slowly she's learning to accept it. Kinley and I don't talk much. She still thinks I ruined her trip by making it about me. Maybe one day she'll understand. Maybe she won't. My dad apologized in his own quiet way by showing up at my apartment with groceries one Saturday and saying, I should have said something sooner. I forgave him, but I didn't forget. Last week, I logged into my student portal. My spring semester classes were locked in, my scholarship was intact, my financial aid was secure. I stared at the screen. Registration status, complete. And for the first time in months, I smiled. Not because everything was fixed, not because my family had changed overnight, but because I had saved myself, and I'd done it on my own terms. I closed my laptop, grabbed my keys, and headed for class, because I wasn't waiting for permission to move forward anymore. I was just moving. If you've ever been the family scapegoat, drop your story in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, hit like and subscribe, because setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival.